Hey, so what we're going to be looking at today is, as you're applying all these interactions from lager, as you step into lager, you come in, a step must occur for any lunges to land, and you're trying not to give a tempo here. As you reapply this, one of the things that people struggle with the most is that as you start doing an interaction, it could be a slight stringer or finding of the sword. It can be a slight invitation. It can be a slight feint. All these interactions that as you're slowly improving position and playing with it, it's well and good to say, cool, and if they pop at any moment, you get to hit them. This is cool and good and beautiful. And then the trivial fucking, yeah, but like, it's really hard to move slow if they go backwards. Like, really, like, yeah, that's all well and good, but what if I just step backwards and then you can't do it to me? Oh, fuck, I hate that statement. So David goes backwards. Cool. I don't need to fucking lose my mind. I can just use the tempo of him stepping backwards to slowly gain, go back into lager, and keep reapplying. If he runs backwards fast, I don't need to lose my mind, but I can chill, and I can slowly approach. But I don't need to run at him. I don't need to be in a hurry. Well, then I'm giving fucking tempos at lager and then wondering where I'm getting hit. So he goes backwards. I don't give a tempo. And then eventually he is in the mind to not go backwards or even to come forwards. And then you can play into those interactions. If I charge him down, if we get here, he takes 2 steps backwards, I take 3 steps forwards. On that third one, I have given him a coaching cue tempo to fucking hit me. And if he doesn't, I'm lucky. Luck isn't a skill. I mean, it kind of is. But, and there's no need to blast into this distance and then hope things go okay, because most of the time, that's a dice roll. So we're going to be working on initially either a find or a feint done incredibly slow. Finding being shortening the distance between my strong and their weak. Doing that slowly, ready to pop at any moment. If I complete my find, which looks like this, I haven't fucking done anything of worth. So the act of actually living and doing and finding, the word finding as a currently occurring action is what is powerful. Finding their sword gives you the chance to do things. A found sword can only do one thing, which is unfind itself. So if I'm finding the sword and I'm closing distance slowly, there's the tempo. I get to pop. If the sword is found and I go boom, and sword is found, the other person feels that. They either shit pants and do nothing with it, but they feel it. So that would be like if I get here, then thrust, there's a high chance of me unfinding the sword, which can be a double. Me unfinding the sword, but other person doesn't want to get hit, and it becomes a parry, and then I get to at least be tempo up. But cool, I'm cashing in on a fumble in the previous step. Aren't I lucky? Right? Like, cashing in on my own blunder is kind of neat, but it's still a blunder. Sword is found. Maybe I redouble how strongly I find and I attack through here. That's just a more awkward action for them to deal with. but they may still be in the mind to, in that tempo, try and unfind their fucking sword and even find yours, which is hilarious. The finishing of the find, their only actions are available are lose and unfind their sword. Most people will do the unfind of their sword and even lose at the same time. The most dreaded one being here, the act of unfinding also hits you with like a disengage or a cut round. And then I would need to then hope I predicted that they were going to attack. So I find their sword and then attack maybe, but see, I'm actually in obligation. I'm actually doing parrying and then riposting. I'm actually breaking the rules that a bunch of fucking books say to do. I am currently in a parrying fucking cycle, hoping that I can carry a parry in to eventually hit, because I'm going find. The act of finishing the find is, I don't know, fucking Lichtenauer suddenly. I'm doing the opposite of Lichtenauer and I'm fucking around. I'm attacking their blade, not them. Isn't that embarrassing? Boom. If I get to finish it, I kind of need to get the game started again. And this is where we look at the next thing, which you can either start with or go to. If the sword is found, I need to start putting threat back on. I need to start feinting. I need to start attacking, but I need to do it without giving them a tempo. If I haven't found the sword and I just start threatening from here and I start feinting, it's going slow enough that I'm controlling where my weak is to inform them or not. Right? So if David, then we look at what we did last week, which is I start leaving. Cool, he chases my weak, and in the tempo of his chase, I get to hit him. He starts ignoring it, and he just goes, fuck it, it's a feint, I can attack into a feint. Cool, he gives me a tempo, I get to hit him. If I found the sword, and I do a committed feint, I give David a tempo, and he hits me. If I found the sword, and I start leaving to there we go, but I haven't given you a tempo, hey. But you go, fuck it, it's a feint, I should attack. I get to play off that. If I do anything brisk, anything shit my pants worthy off here, if I start leaving and I leave this line open, David just attacks straight down Main Street, and I'm a fuckwit, because I've gotten to Stretta, and David gets to go, lol, Stretta. Right? Just solve, insta-win. You're a donkey. Done. In the act of doing this, I let him occupy my weak. I get fucked. Amazing. Why is that? Because I'm too fucking close. Because we're dealing with applying lager against someone. That's a lot. So we're going to play with finding as a thing that I'm currently doing. If I get to found and I don't have an insta-win capability, I start going feinting, finding, finding. And it's the doing it is where all the openings lie. David starts wigging out. He starts going backwards. Come forwards, right? Because you're either looking for me to give you a hard tempo for the act in tempo. It's not happening. You're feeling yourself get found. You're feeling the feint. You're feeling yourself get found. You're feeling the feinting of the attack. Maybe I start really playing with this to make you find me. And because I'm on the... And what happened?
I saw a tempo in your foot, but I was like getting it.
Yeah, and because your sword was so found, all I could do was attack, because I can't find more. And it became a double.
Yep.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? Ah! So from there, because I got impatient in that application, we just played through finding, feinting, finding, feinting, finding, and then contra posture really starts riling up. Notice I'm taking a position that starts to really counter David. If he wanted to attack through my weak, the only way for him to attack through my weak would be to hit any part of me that doesn't exist. Right? Because I'm directly behind my middle right now, or my left shoulder in comparison to you is directly behind my middle. So anything that could win through my second right now can't really fucking hit me without it being a 2-tempo action, which then can't really fucking hit me. So then I can really start threatening, getting to here. Can I eventually get to maybe here? And is this shredder? Can I pop a shredder? It feels like it, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, barely, right? I'd probably have to, boom. So I got to use finding as an action, feinting as an action, lay it upon, oh, you ran away? I just keep finding. I don't want your sword found, because in the moment of finding your sword, I need to hit you. So if I'm not hitting you in the moment of finding your sword, I'm playing with your sword, I'm sword rubbing.
Yeah.
And in the moment of feinting, if you don't commit to something and I end up committed, I give you a tempo.
Yeah.
So those are the don'ts.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm finding, feinting, never committed, eventually they will give you a tempo that you hit them for. And the tempo will either be, I get to shredder, commitment to inaction, hit. Their sword is found, hit. Or lager, they commit to hurriedly doing something to unfuck the situation, hit them. Cool, we've just summarized the entirety of Fabris. Let's play with that, eh?